The reviewed lists show that the number of beneficiaries drops from 175 to 120. Among the most notable names is that of Miriam Sander, who was handed a death sentence for killing her husband in 2017. The government revoked the pardon earlier granted to her, changing it to 12 years in prison. 4 others had their death sentences commuted to life in prison, while 15 others were pardoned outright. The Tinubu administration's review of the presidential pardon lists means that convicts of serious crimes like kidnapping, drug trafficking, human trafficking, fraud, and illegal arms possession will no longer benefit from clemency. This may entail the government taking a tougher stance on insecurity. The decision also reflects President Tinubu's effort to distance his administration from perceptions of leniency towards corruption, insecurity, and organized crime. This balances the constitutional power of mercy with the need for accountability in serious offenses. The initial pardon list had sparked public outrage, but legal analysts say the review shows sensitivity to victims of crime and could help rebuild the trust in the justice system. By revisiting the list after public backlash, the Tinubu administration seems to have set a precedent that clemency decisions can be revisited in the interest of justice and security. Godfrey Eshamoge, Arise News.
Our lawyer and human rights activist Maxwell Opara joins us now to discuss President Tinubu's review of beneficiaries of pardon and clemency and the need to improve the vetting process of potential beneficiaries. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you, Temitobe. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Nigerians, for having me once again.
So what do you make of the President's review of the beneficiaries list, and how did public feedback influence this process?
We want to start by saying that the President revealing the already signed list is not even what Nigerians are calling for. One, Attorney General of the Federation should apologize and resign for exhibiting such a level of negligence and incompetence, because he is the chairman of the committee. And had it been that Nigerians did not vote, he would have just allowed the president to sign. And another thing is that doesn't mean that what you are sending the president to sign, you don't go through it, you don't reveal it. So, in other words, the president can even sign his death warrant. So he exhibited level of negligence and incompetence and should apologize and resign. That one is one. Then two, we raised issue of corruption because people agitated. People clamored that that particular list was a product of corruption, that some people paid money. So we are now asking, what is going on? Now that you have revealed it, are we stopping at that? What of those that produced that list? What happened? What on what basis you selected the people that you sent to the president for consent? Because just like as I said the other day, in Shrouded prison, as an instance, a lady from Southeast was convicted for manslaughter, and he was sentenced to death for life. And she has spent over 25 years in that Shrouded prison. But the other person now, Sander, committed murder, and he was sent to death by hanging. In less than 3 years, you included her name. Now, on what basis? So that's why people are saying that some people are paying up to 150 million naira. So they should investigate that particular line of corruption. So because these are the issues, because this is a national embarrassment, because some people are even challenging the president of withdrawal of that pardon, because they say that it's a constitutional issue. Once you have consented for pardon, you don't withdraw again. But whichever way, we are talking about interests of Nigeria, our justice system.
Also, Mr. Opara, it looks like there's a lot of guesswork that went on in this. I appreciate that you mentioned that the AGF should apologize and resign, and also the aspect of you bringing up that there might have been some transactions that led to that initial list. But Nigeria is not the first country that practices such when it comes to presidential pardons. If you compare our country to what is practiced in saner or more ideal climes, what should be the metrics that determine if a person receives a presidential pardon or not?
Yes, just like the name sounds, is a prerogative of the president. And the president is expected to exercise such a power in line with law and morality. What do I mean? When somebody apply for presidential pardon, you consider a lot of things. What is the issue? What is the crime? The number of years given to the person. Have the person shown remorse? Not what we are seeing in Nigeria, where somebody, you kill soldiers, you committed act of terrorism, you kill a policeman, you render the entire community homeless, and when you are arrested under 3 months, they say that you have repented. No, there are procedures. Now the committee set up for this should receive the application. After vetting it, they should publicize it so that Nigerians will know the reason. Okay, this list now they made public for us now. What stops them from making it public before? For people to know. So we even got the information because of some journalists who applied investigative journalism and revealed it. Everything was going into secrecy, including this one I just told you now. If somebody, a staff in that Suleja prison, told me that there in Suleja, they thought that that lady would have made, her name would have included in that list. But because the lady has nobody to speak for her or somebody to pay for her. So that's why they excluded her name. So, and a lot of other issues. So they in the first instance going forward, when this kind of issue arise and some people applied and the committee has come up with a list, they should make it public for public to make input. Not saying that somebody has shown remorse. What are the parameters of showing that somebody has shown remorse? Is the public and the victims of the crime the person committed, especially in the case of a murder, the family who lost their one, and they want to release the person back to the society in the name of a presidential pardon. It cannot stand.
So how can lessons, from this review shape future reforms within the Ministry of Justice, the Presidential Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy and related institutions?
That's what we are saying now, because now that the current Attorney General has exhibited level of negligence and incompetence, I don't know what he's still doing there, because he told us that they are revealing the process. So you are now telling us that as a senior advocate of Nigeria, and you are the chairman of the committee, who submitted that list to you? Upon all the whole senior advocates we have in the Ministry of Justice, upon all the whole lawyers we have in the Ministry of Justice, you did not delegate somebody to scrutinize that list. The custodian authority submitted the list to you. You just submitted it to the president and asked the president to sign. It is a level of negligence and incompetence in the highest order. So he should resign so that let somebody who is ready to do the work step in. So if now that this, he said that they are going to come up with a legal framework going forward on how the presidential pardon should be followed, the things that need to be done. And personally, I'm saying that you lack the moral and the legal capacity to be there, going by your previous conduct. So another person should step in and come up with a legal framework so that this kind of embarrassment given to us should not happen again. And you made mention of something that has been happening in other clients. Not this type of show of shame, where somebody, a drug dealer, a drug trafficker, a murderer, and you granted the person presidential pardon. In less than, one was convicted, I think that was in April or thereabout, in less than 6 months, in less than 2 years, in less than 3 years, and you submitted the name to the president that the president should exercise that power. It's an embarrassment. When the president is moving, Nigeria, we are moving. When the president is signing, we are signing. So you have the power given to you, you should exercise it in line with the mandate given to you as a president. So that is my own take on it.
All right, Mr. Opara, well said. Now, let's expand this beyond this presidential pardon situation. Now that this administration is trying to correct the impression that it's lenient on crime, it also reminds me of past policies that were introduced by this administration, where there was also similar backlash, but nothing was necessarily done. In the future, is this an indicator that it might be time to introduce the participatory aspect of the public when it comes to policies being introduced, especially since it's everyday Nigerians that will be affected by those policies? Do you think it's time for us to see a shift in that?
Of course, we have said it, both in any policy, not when you take a decision and you receive a backlash and you begin to amend. You are embarrassing your government. And I continue to say, I don't know those who are advising the president. Before the president will make a comment or say anything, they must look at it, review it. Before a president will give an appointment, just like the appointment giving screening, you can see what happened to the former Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Naj. Had it been that the Senate conducted the screening as they're supposed to do, the security agents carried out their own screening in line with the law very well. Or that embarrassment given to us that somebody who forged a university certificate passed through Senate screening, passed through DSSS security screening, and was sworn in as a minister shouldn't have come up. So going forward, before you take any decision, especially granting pardon, you should make it public. Appointment, make it public. Allow people to make input. Allow people to help you scrutinize the person. It will save you a lot of embarrassment. So that's why we are saying that now we will not allow the minister to benefit from his own wrong by still being in that office as Attorney General of the Federation. He should resign. 2, the people, the custodian authority, those that produce that list, because that list was produced by custodian authority. What I mean is that correctional center staff, those people that produce that list, they should subject to investigation. What gave rise to this? That this person who qualified to merit the list, you remove his or her name and you included this person whom you know that is not qualified in line with the criteria given to you. So these are the issues going forward, because otherwise another person will repeat this kind of thing, and when there is a backlash, you say that you are revealing it. No, he should apologize and resign. Those who participated in that corruption and this issue of shame should be made to face security agents for investigation.
Well, lawyer and human rights activist Maxwell Opara, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.